Welcome into another damn Cleveland sports podcast. I'm Andrew with Jordan, and we are back for another week. It's a weird week, Jordan, because baseball hasn't started. Free agency's kind of died down. The NFL news is scant, I would say, other than the Jalen Waddle trade, which I don't know. Does that move you? It doesn't move me. So we're left with, kind of the other sports, odds and ends. So we're going to do a quick little around the sports world roundup. As we're recording this, Siena is up a few on Duke in the second half. We're going to try and finish this before that game ends so we can witness potentially one of the great upsets in college basketball history. But I just want to kind of share with you what we lay on the line to make this podcast happen for you, that we're missing, what could be truly the most embarrassing moment in Duke basketball history, which saying that phrase gives my soul a little bit of life, right?
A lot of life, man. Duke losing to a 16 seed. I said this on Twitter. I think it would be the one thing that could bring this country back together.
That's
I
fun to
really
think
do
about.
think.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of our issues as a society would fade away if we could all just sit around the television and celebrate Duke losing to a 16 seed. So
to a 16 seed whose mascot is just a big friendly dog.
Yeah. It's on the screen the whole game, just looking at you,
just looking pleased to be included. Frankly,
yeah.
It's
funny because I'm not a huge college basketball person. I do not think the product is anywhere near as enjoyable as the NBA. And then the tournament starts, and it's just like, here are the best games you'll ever see in your life immediately, and you're
back
like, oh
back.
man,
sometimes overlapping.
This tournament, especially the first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, where it literally is just game after game all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Truly, I was like I only did a couple brackets. I'm usually in a bunch of different ones. I don't have that fire. I don't have that dog in me for the tournament this year. And then you turn it
You're
on.
Not Siena. You are not Siena.
I'm not Siena.
No.
And then I turn it on this morning and I'm like, oh, right. This is wonderful. I forgot.
Right.
This is maybe the preeminent sports tournament in America.
Well, and especially in your situation, because you're West Coast.
9 a.m., baby.
And, you've got a little free time on your hands at the moment.
Yeah.
So, this is the dream. I remember I was without a job when the World Cup happened in 2022.
Wow.
And it was fall, winter time. And it was just all the games are happening during the day. And you're just like, what am I going to do today? I'll probably make a cup of coffee and then watch 3 hours of soccer. That seems reasonable. And I think it's very much the same thing. This is obviously condensed because it's just the 2 days. But Thursday, Friday, it's like, literally, what else would you do?
No, there's
other
nothing
than podcast, I guess,
other than do this and podcast. And again, just speaking about the sacrifice we're making for the listeners.
Yeah.
Just once again mentioning that.
Yeah. Rate and review, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah. You can give us a thumbs down. We don't care. We're doing this for you. So, it was a 9 a.m. tip off for the first game. I woke up and I said, let me do just what Andrew said. Let me make myself a cup of coffee. Let me kick these feet up and let me turn on some hoops. And I truly think the Thursday, Friday of the NCAA tournament are the two sort of best days in sports tournament lore anywhere. Really enjoyable. So hopefully Siena holds on.
You this question.
Yeah.
Would it be as good if college football did something similar? Here's my pitch. No non-conference games, right?
Yeah.
Smaller conferences. You have an 8-9 game schedule, only conference games. And then everybody in FBS college football, which is 120 teams, goes into a bracket.
Wow. I don't know because it does seem
I don't either, but it
seems like the talent gap in college football is larger than it is in college basketball.
Certainly. And I think when I say every team goes in, that's probably the flaw, right? Is that there's going to be some bad teams.
Going to be some bad teams, some bad games. Yeah. Although there's bad games in the NCAA. I mean, not every game is super close.
Right.
There's already been a couple blowouts today, maybe one or just two. But I usually subscribe to the more sports, the better. So I'm not going to dismiss your idea simply because it would create more sports.
Right. And I think specifically what I'm trying to recreate is the Thursday, Friday. I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or maybe Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Of just back-to-back college football games for 3 days straight.
Yeah. Now that's something. Yeah. And you can just have it on. That's the other great thing. Is you can just have it on. You don't really, if you don't care about a game, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
My other favorite thing about these tournaments, but specifically college, where maybe you're not watching because Andrew, let's be honest, there's a lot of colleges. There's a lot of colleges out there, and they've all got
Jordan,
teams.
this is kind of this is one of your main things, is that there's too many colleges.
I'm
You're
always
always
saying to
saying
people,
a little bit
whenever
less
I go
education
out,
would go a long way.
my goodness, whenever I go out, I'm like, hey, you guys know what there's too many of? Colleges. And people are
Just
like,
too
everybody
many.
gets up and leaves, and I don't really understand.
Right. Oh, he's one of those guys, they say.
But so you can't keep up with all the players.
No.
Especially on smaller schools. The
Right.
tournament is also great for that,
Mm-hmm.
because although sometimes with bigger schools, I just had a buddy text me, and the text read, I did not know there were 2 boozers on Duke. Because Carlos Boozer, the former Cleveland Cavalier who lied to a blind man, as we all know, we can get into that story if we want. We don't have to do it now, but we could.
It's out there.
Yeah, he has. If Duke loses, certainly we'll be speaking about this.
Yes.
He has 2 sons on Duke, one of which is probably going to be the number 1 or number 2 overall pick in the NBA draft. So there's 2 boozers playing for Duke, and sometimes you forget about the other brother who's not as good, and you're like, oh yeah, there are
there's
2
a lesser boozer.
There's a worse boozer on the team.
Well, but your point about, like, you don't know these guys, and then all of a sudden you know them very well.
Yeah,
we just watched High Point knock off Wisconsin. I was watching that game pretty closely, and there's this moment where the kid from High Point, who is number 99 and is just making nothing but 3-point, like truly just, the sharpshooter of all sharpshooters, he gets loose at the end for a layup to take the lead, and the announcer says, and you literally can't believe what you're hearing, that it's his first made 2-point basket of the season. What?
Whole season. I read those tweets and I said, that can't be right.
No. Yeah, we're going to get the research team on that. But apparently his only field goal inside the arc comes with like less than 10 seconds left, laying it in.
A game-winning layup.
Exactly.
Yeah,
correct.
To upset Wisconsin. No, you're not getting that anywhere
number
else.
99. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So
That's perfect.
we celebrate the tournament. Like I said, we're just happy to have it in our lives, and it's a great day, the Thursday of the tournament. So obviously we had to talk about that a little bit. Speaking of tournaments that have improved the sport, World Baseball Classic wrapped up on Tuesday, and it was a blast again. This is like truly a great event that, I think deserves greater prominence. I think we're solving the sports world today, right? We already added a gigantic playoff to college football. Jordan, I think given the passion that you see in the World Baseball Classic, this thing needs to go to summer. It needs to be a mid-season 2-week let's take 2 weeks off of baseball. You can play these games all over the country in all the same stadiums that are going to be closed, right? I think that's what we got to. I think we got to consider doing it, because it's just the baseball's too good. The baseball is too good, and it's happening when people are not ready for it. It's catching people by surprise.
No, they're not ready, especially pitchers who some have to leave because teams are like, you're not about to throw my pitcher 3 innings, and so he's not going to be ready for the season. Also, like they kept talking about somebody like Bryce Harper, who ended up having a very monumental home run to tie the final against Venezuela. But he was horrendous for most of the tournament. And he's older now. He's been around a while, and guys are like, yeah, this is usually the time he's just trying to work on his swing path and figure it out. And he clearly did not have it figured out. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I think moving it from when guys are typically in spring training, and spring training is all about slow and steady, because you have 162 games afterwards to play. Doing it sometime in the summer, I think would allow you to. I think there'd still be issues with teams not wanting their starters to pitch in it, but I think the starters can just be whatever, I'm going to do it. But at least the hitters would be in full form. Yeah. They're ready to go.
Which arguably would make it even more fun to watch if every game was ending 11-10 or whatever. I think it would just be a lot of fun. And I think the thing I would say most importantly is that it deserves that showcase.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It needs to be seen. It needs to be televised at the same level as a World Cup, because it's that good, and it's that good for the sport to see. The scene in Miami for that final on Tuesday was just you couldn't believe your eyes, the way that people were reacting and how much passion there was. And that's the main thing that I think is missing from the sport of baseball, is that it's kind of a whatever most of the time. And I think that's why baseball's in the spot that it's in. So I'm a big proponent of this. I would love to see it happen in the summer. You can get rid of the All-Star game with no qualms from me, and just go full World Baseball Classic. I think you could probably even get the tournament done in a week. Like if you look at how many games are played and the schedule, I think you could tweak it a little bit and get it done in like a long week. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you could too, and I think we got to say this about Team USA. Like you mentioned, you mentioned the how like frowned upon in Major League Baseball, like
Yeah.
emotion has been.
Yeah.
Baseball is one of these sports that the only sport you ever hear
Mhm.
about quote unquote unwritten rules.
Right. Right.
Where it's like, don't show up a pitcher on a home run.
Right.
Don't trot around the bases too slow. Like all of these things that you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to play this game like a robot. That is such a uniquely American thing. And I think there was nothing more
Mhm.
representative of that than watching this version of Team USA juxtaposed with all the rest of the world. We touched on this a little bit on our last pod, but like it just kept going, and I'll just say I'm glad that they lost, because I don't think
Yeah.
that team, with how they carried themselves and
Yeah.
how they also tried to sort of pretend that they were like too cool for this tournament in some
Mhm.
ways, while like you're watching the closer for Venezuela start crying before he throws the final strike, because he's
Right.
like, I'm about to rip a 99-mile-per-hour fastball and we're
Yeah.
gonna win, and
Right.
this emotion
Yeah.
is overtaking me.
Right.
Like, there so much of the stuff that Team USA did made it not enjoyable to root for them at all.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
also, like, it's the lamest thing in the world to pretend you don't care about something as big as
Mhm.
like the World Baseball Classic. Like,
Mhm.
why is that something you wouldn't care about? Why are you acting, but then not care about,
Well,
but then also acting
right.
like it's an affront to God to
Right.
shake
Or
somebody's hand at home
right.
plate?
Right. It's kind of both at the same time. It just feels like bad sportsmanship to me, like kind of
Yeah.
across the board, and like and kind of a negative thing. The thing that I think about with baseball and the unwritten rules nonsense that like really blows my mind is that like I this is the sort of thing that you say on a podcast. I have at times been very interested in like early baseball history, right?
Yeah,
Because
sure. No, that checks out.
it's it happens so like you're talking about the 1870s, right? Like the country's a different place. Like it's a totally different world than the one that we
Yeah.
inhabit. And so I find that very interesting because the history of baseball is a working class game that was played by like the meanest people imaginable, like
Yeah.
generally speaking, and they played it violently. And so like early baseball was a little bit of like a street fight in addition to being a sport. And
Yeah.
that is like that's the heritage of the game in my mind, right? And then I think I see more connections to like the celebrations and the joyousness that you see from I mean, I don't even really want to like say that this is just like a Latin American thing, right? Because I think you also saw it with a lot of like what Team Italy was doing, right? And like what Japan has done in this tournament
I
has been
I
really
was gonna say,
impressive.
even there's an instance of Shohei hitting a home
Right,
run in one of Japan's games, and somebody was like, "That's the most emotion I've seen him
right,
show after, more
right,
so than like in the World Series."
right. It's sort of the U.S. that's missing out on it, and
Yeah,
everybody else, including a lot of the guys on these other teams, like Great Britain and Italy, are Americans
yeah,
who have parents or grandparents or whatever, and so but I just think the whole thing is it's a very specific corner of baseball that is like, I mean, I don't want to throw one person under the bus here, but Joe Buck's fault,
mhm,
right? That talks
yeah,
like it's all of this idea of respectability is so inherently idiotic, right? And sort of it makes its own argument against itself as soon as you start talking about it. And I just think that over the years has really gotten away from itself in baseball and kind of become part of Major League Baseball as like an organization. And I think the problem with the American team is that there's not enough influence from anywhere outside of Major League Baseball in the team. And I think they would be better served, truly, if they went like Bad News Bears style and
mhm.
got like a bunch of dudes that have been playing like independent ball.
Yeah.
or like not the most famous, like up their own asses guys in the sport, right? But like guys that actually love baseball.
Yeah, and I think we touched on this too, but like what Team USA sort of attaches to country and playing
Yeah,
for country was like this very military-esque, you've got Aaron Judge in his widely panned speech
yeah,
prior to, but saying things like, you're in the trenches, all these, God, these war metaphors for sports games. Like, he's doing that. You've got obviously the SEAL Team 6 sniper that killed Bin Laden talking to the
right.
team before the game. Like, they're saluting as a celebration. It's just like, why
Yeah,
like,
I
why
mean,
is this the only thing that you guys can think of
I
to
think
like
it's all Mark
associate
DeRosa's
yourselves
fault.
with? I would agree.
Like,
I
it
think it
seems like
starts with
it's
Mark
kind of just
DeRosa.
down. So I really think that they need to get like, I mean, what was Danny McBride's character from Eastbound and Down? Like that's
Oh, Kenny Powers, yeah.
Kenny. They need to get Kenny
Or
Powers.
get Tito
Well,
Francona
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
sitting
yeah,
in
yeah.
the
Somebody
dugout.
that right. Yeah, get Nick
Yeah,
Swisher.
he's
Get like
eating popsicles
right.
every
Yeah,
inning.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Um,
not that these guys don't exist in American baseball. It's that this specific team chose to go to a party and not have a good time. It's that
yes.
guy.
It's this
That,
specific person.
right.
Yes.
It's the guy that you see at the party who's like standing in the corner trying not to talk to people. You're like, why did you come?
Yeah.
Like you could have just
I
not showed up.
And the last thing I'll say on this is there's also such a difference between showing somebody up and just showing genuine emotion.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
listen, if it's the ninth inning and your team is down 10 runs and you hit a solo shot and you're like talking shit to the pitcher and taking
Right.
your time around the bases,
Yeah.
for sure, that's bad sportsmanship. That's showing somebody up. That person deserves to be ridiculed.
Yep.
If you hit a walk-off grand slam and you flip the bat and you turn to your teammates and you're yelling, that's just genuine emotion. That's fun. Right. And like for people, and especially Team USA, to sort of maybe not understand the difference between emotion and showing people up is just, it's baffling. And yeah, this was the worst version of this Team USA team. And I'm happy that we're done with them.
Yeah, I agree on every level. And I mean, I think that in some ways, I hope that didn't overshadow what the event overall was, right? Because Venezuela was having a great time. The Dominican Republic was having a great time. Like, I mean, Italy, as I said, was having a great time. Like, there was a party, and these guys showed up, wearing a black trench coat for some reason. It just doesn't make any sense. So, other than that, like I said, not a ton of news out there. The Browns have made a bunch of small signings. We'll get into, as we get into April, get into a little bit of draft talk ahead of, they've got the 2 picks and, maybe some larger moves will break loose closer to the draft. We'll see. But I think that's kind of it. We did a short on the Cavs and their recent defensive woes. The upshot there is that they got to play the defense. They got to and specifically the 3-point line is where a lot of that you're going to want to defend that. But we just watched. I mean, we already mentioned the High Point Wisconsin game. Not a lot of defense being played there, and it was a lot of fun. No. So, I mean, watching the Cavs win a bunch of shootouts wouldn't be good for your health, but you'd consider it, right?
I'd consider it. Listen, if like they got into the playoffs and they're winning shootouts, I'm not going to care. I'm not going to care that much. Right. Go ahead and do it. But yeah, like you said, they find out where you packed away the defense, bring it out of the closet, and bring it out into the sunlight for a little
dust
bit.
It off. Make sure it's in good working order. It's like when you sell something on Facebook Marketplace, you want to give it a once over before you list it, so that you're not you're not embarrassed when you try and hit play and the thing doesn't do anything.
And then you've got a stranger in your house and you don't know what the next move is going to be.
What happens? You say to this person, and they look at you like, why didn't you take care of this? So defend the 3-point line, Cavs. It's easy. We were talking before we started recording about the chicken salad that Costco makes, and so just real quick on the way out here, Jordan. I just want to say, I don't know. It's not for everybody, right? I know, like, those sorts of salads are a real, like, divisive. Some people don't like anything that's like mostly mayonnaise, and I get that. I get it is like texture wise, whatever. If that's not your jam, that's fine. You can hang up now. It's good. But for those of us who do, it's just a little tip. They put the rotisserie chicken into the chicken salad, and it's just something for you to think about.
Yeah. This is a very pro mayonnaise pod. I just want to get that out of the way first. In case
honestly,
anybody was
that's
curious.
A better name. That's a better name.
The pro mayonnaise pod. I would I'd take a bath in mayonnaise. I would. I'd
Do you
put
have a
it
favorite?
like kind of mayo. You're
Yeah, like a
saying
brand.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, a brand. I mean, I was I was a Hellman's guy for a long
Sure.
time.
Okay.
There
Classic.
is actually there is a brand out here that is called AO Mayo, and they have a
Okay.
bunch of different flavors. Like there's a dill pickle mayonnaise.
Sure.
There is
Okay. A flavored mayo.
like
Sure.
a miso mayonnaise. They make some really good
Oh, yeah.
stuff. So I'm into that. But I would say I'm just a classic
Okay.
Hellman's guy.
Has Duke's made it out to the West Coast?
I don't know if it's out here. I've never had Duke's though.
Okay.
I mostly know it from the bowl game. So
Jordan.
you're a Duke's guy?
Well, I mean, I'm I'm with you. Like this is, as you said, this is a pro-mayo pod.
Yeah.
So I'm not here to say anything negative about a mayonnaise, but I will get excited about a Duke's. That's one of the ones that like there is a little more zing. You're getting a little more zing.
I like the zing.
Yeah. You got to see what you can do locally.
Okay.
See if you can serve. It's you live in one of the largest cities in America. I think you can. I think you get your hands on something.
Yes, I think if next time I walk into the grocery store and I say hello, yes, I'm looking for a mayonnaise by the name of Duke.
Looking to speak to the Duke. Yeah.
Yes, is the Duke of mayonnaise here?
That's right.
Okay, and that's good.
While we're talking about mayonnaise, I will also just say, and like this is, I know I'm asking a lot, but you should make it yourself. You should make your own at least once in your life.
Wow, make my own mayonnaise.
You should make your own mayonnaise at least once in your life. It is 100% worth it. And it is hard. It's not easy, but if you've got an immersion blender, it's okay. It's not the worst. And so it's worth doing, mostly just to kind of understand like what it could be if we lived in a world of infinite labor, right? If you had a robot in your kitchen, you would have that robot making fresh mayonnaise
who says
on a daily basis.
Who says I don't?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
I guess what's behind that door.
Right, the big future door might just be a robot. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. So I would say, this weekend as you're watching the NCAA tournament, think about putting some mayonnaise on whatever it is you're eating.
Absolutely. Literally anything you're eating, put it on. I mean,
truly. Yeah. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid or shy. Okay. I think we call that a podcast. I think that's all.
I think that's
I mean, that's all. That's all you want.
What the people want.
That's all you want. I mentioned it previously. I'll add it at the end here, just in case anybody's still with us. We are doing more shorts on our YouTube page. So if you're listening to this in the audio format and you want a little bit more from us, check out YouTube. Please subscribe. We're trying to do a few more shorts and react to things a little bit more in live time there. We'll also keep doing these, and we love doing these. So we'll keep doing that as well. But like I've said before, YouTube is kind of the hub for all of this stuff. So we appreciate all of you listening, watching, whatever you're doing. And, we'll be back probably next week again with another one of these. So until then, be well, everybody. See ya.